Hello, so to start the Team Standards Academy, we are going to have this space which is for me to explain to you some concepts and some ideas and also explain to you the structure that you're going to follow in this academy. So as I said, the Team Standards are the tools that Isaac chose in order to manage teams in the best way possible because it's very adapted to our reality of projects and of teams that need to start, perform, and then close the experience. For you as a team leader and as a person that is going to manage teams, the team standards are going to be the plus, the thing that is going to make you not be these runners on the back, but actually be Usain Bolt that is actually winning the race. So we're going to be talking about team standards as this added value, as this thing that if you follow, you're going to be very, very well succeeded as a team leader. And it's also our responsibility as a team leader. So one very important topic and a concept that you need to keep in mind when you're talking about team standards is the team cycle. So we, as Isaac in Italy, we have a very clear and defined team cycle that starts in March, and this one that we're starting right now starts in March and then goes all the way until the end of September. So the members that you are receiving right now in the admissions are the members that are now in your team. They need to know that the experience that they're going to live inside Isaac right now, it is starting now, and then it's going to end all the way until the end of September when the other team cycle will start. And then the steps that we're going to be following, so building, performing, and closing. Building being the things you do in order to build a strong team, performing being the things you do in order to keep a routine and achieve results, and closing being the last steps that you do in order to make sure that the knowledge is going to be passed forward and that you're going to transition everything in terms of learnings. It needs to happen later. So March is the month for building and starting performing, and September is the month for ending performing and doing closing. All the rest is totally performing, and this is our team cycle. So again, when you're talking about the implementation of team standards, we're talking about these three steps. So building, performing, and closing. All of the academy is going to be structured in this way, and then the activities also are going to be structured in this way. So make sure that you're understanding and also allocating the team standards, like, okay, so this is building, this is performing, this is closing. And then in the academy also, we will go more in deep into these topics. So what is team creation? What is team plan? What is an individual plan? How do I manage my support systems? How do I manage transition, individual debrief? Be okay that all of these topics are going to be tackled in the next slides. One thing that you need to be very aware of, and it will appear in the next slides, is what we called GLE, so Global Learning Environments. It's basically what are the kinds of environments and spaces that you can actually implement that team standard. So you will see that in the bottom, in the slides of all of the team standards of the next slideshow that you're gonna see, there are these symbols and they represent each one kind of environment. The first one is the team experiences. So they are team standards that you are for sure going to implement inside your team, everybody together in a meeting, in a space, but everybody together as a team. Learning cycles or learning circles, they are the ones that are also implemented as a group, but not necessarily inside your team. They can be implemented in a round of discussions in an LC meeting, for example, or other kind of circles. Mentoring is basically the types of team standards that you really need to have a one-to-one meeting with your member, so individual meeting with your member, in order to implement. The other one, conferences and seminars, are usually team standards that you implement. You can implement in an LC meeting, you can implement in a Discovery Days, in a national conference. So one for a lot of people. The other one is the online one. So we can use our academies to implement this team standard, for example. We can use virtual channels, chats, hangouts, or other channels that we can use in order to implement this one. And the last one is the individual reflection. So they are team standards that you have a role also of mentoring and helping the member to get to where he needs to get, but it also requires a level of the member of reflecting on his experience, on his values, and then doing something with that. So make sure that you are also taking a picture, or taking notes on these GLEs, so Global Learning Environments, because they will appear in the next slides. And then we're also going to be following our young Maurizio, which is the example of the team leader. So all of the steps, all of the slides are going to have young Maurizio in the beginning because they show what are the doubts that maybe are popping in your mind and probably popped in the mind of Maurizio as well. In the end of the academy, you will have 2 exercises. The first one is an optional one that I really recommend you to do, which is a 1-pager. So you're going to have a PDF to build your application of Team Standards calendar. And the final one, and this is necessary for you to get certified in this academy, is the final test. So after you go through all of the steps of this academy, make sure that you go into the link of the Google Forms in the end of the academy, so the last block, and then fill all of the questions. You need to fill that in order to be certified in this academy. That's it. I really hope you enjoy all the other blocks. If you have any questions, please approach me, and then I'll be happy to answer.